Imagine for a moment your pits smelling like nothing. You don't stink after you work out. Your teenager's foot odor doesn't exist. How is this possible? It's Lumi. Challenge Lumi to keep you funk-free for 72 hours. Go to uglytruth.com/Lumi. You can pick your favorite smell, the favorite type of applicator or stick or tube or wipe, and you will be amazed by your non-smelly body. uglytruth.com/Lumi. Welcome to The Ugly Truth. This is episode 554, last show of 2021. I'm sorry, I could not remember.
Can at least remember the year.
Okay, clearly we need a break. But
Right?
It's fine because this will be a super fun show, and then we're going to take a nice break, and we'll be back in the new year. Fresh and
that's
ready
so
to go.
crazy.
I know, I can't believe how quickly it's come. Anyway, welcome to The Ugly Truth. I'm Jamie. This is Stephanie, and we're here. We have so much to talk about.
I know, huh?
Now, I did have some listeners reach out to us, and we'll get to it,
Oh.
but not yet, because I wanted to tell you about my Napa trip. It was a quick overnighter, but we've had a few requests on some things that have been going on in the media that they really want us to talk about. They want to know our opinions. They want,
Excellent.
So
I love that. I wish
yes.
more people would write.
Right now,
Because I'm always wondering.
yeah,
like,
it's
For the 10 people who listen, I'm like,
No.
just kidding.
I know, but they do reach out and they're like, oh, we love the show, and oh my God, I can't wait to hear what you have to say about this or that. And we had a bit of an influx in the last week or so I wanted to make sure we talked
Well, there's
about
been
them.
some good shit going on, so.
So much. So quickly though, Daryl and I had the privilege of going to Napa over the weekend, as we like to, but his brother is a big fan of this artist named Jamie Johnson. He is like an outlaw singer, outlaw country, which I love.
I love too.
I learned about Jamie Johnson many years ago, like almost a decade ago. He was on the Joe Rogan podcast.
Oh,
He
cool.
had like short black hair. He was just this guy, and he's like, no one mainstream really likes me, so I kind of just do live shows and do whatever. So he only has a couple of albums out, but he's so freaking good. And so Daryl and Bradley love Jamie Johnson.
Great.
They saw him a couple of years ago when he was here. And when he found out he was going to be in Napa at the Uptown Theater, which only holds like 400 people,
Love those venues.
he bought tickets.
Bradley
Excuse me.
did?
Yes. And my throat is still fucked up from that show.
Yeah.
He bought tickets for his wife and himself, Daryl and me. And he said, I bought his tickets. We're going. And make it happen.
That was so sweet.
And we're like, thank you, Brad. And so he wanted to get the best tickets available. But because Jamie Johnson is not this huge headliner, we literally got second row.
Yay!
Right in front. Like,
my God.
literally in front.
Perfect. Daryl didn't even have to pull his VIP card.
Nothing. And Brad's like, I kind of didn't think this through, because now we're going to literally be able to like look in his beard, and we're going to smell their cologne.
It's fun.
Well, I love it.
I
it's
love
It's the
it.
only way I like to see music
Well,
is live,
and
front,
now
close.
if you like mainstream rock bands or
Yes.
and you want to get front row, first of all, you can't.
No.
You have to know someone.
Yeah, that's
and then the tickets you can buy to get closer, which they are thousands of dollars.
Yes.
Back in the day, it was a splurge.
$25?
No, I mean, I remember spending
I paid $27 to see Aerosmith.
Oh no, agreed.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that was like in the black and white
It was
days.
literally 100 years ago.
Yeah,
yes.
but when I went and saw Mariah Carey on her Christmas tour, oh God, it was probably 15 years ago. We paid like $400 a ticket.
Yeah.
Got third row.
That's good.
These days, you would pay $1,500 for those tickets.
Easily.
You would never get a seat up there.
Or you don't get it at all because you have to be someone.
Yeah,
They're
or
like,
they have these
we're
bot
reserving those
things
for
now
people.
that like buy all the front row tickets and then they jack the price up 10
Yes.
times. I mean,
Well, for example, this is... I wanted to see John Mulaney, who is a comedian that I really, really like, and he's coming to Sacramento in the spring. And I said, and I told John, I'm like, I want to go see him. And he goes, they're like $400 a ticket, and it's not
Wow.
even front row. And I'm like, okay, I don't love him that much.
No.
It's all right. I'll watch his shows on
it's
Netflix.
not. If it was Neil Diamond, yes, I would go. But it's not. Or Barbara Streisand.
I can't think of anyone that I would pay that kind of price for.
I would. Neil Diamond.
You know
I
what?
love him.
I've never seen Neil Diamond,
You know what?
so I
Because
probably would.
He is an entertainer. Like, he's not just.
Yeah.
You don't really have to like his music. His show is phenomenal.
If I could go dead,
one of those guys.
If I could go any artist, dead or alive,
Yeah.
Like Daryl and I have paid hundreds of dollars to see Prince up
Yes,
close.
I
We
know.
have done that, but with exception to that, because I have done that, I would pay $1,000 to see George Michael up close.
Oh God, me too.
I would pay
hate myself
thousands.
for never going to see him.
Same. I would pay thousands to see that.
Yeah.
Knowing now, I would go in debt. I would get a credit card simply to buy the ticket.
Did you ever see Paul McCartney live?
I haven't. I've heard he does a great show. And
Well, I mean, now he's old, but
Yeah.
I would have liked to have seen him when he was in like his 40s or 50s.
Yeah, I would have seen it when he did Wings or something.
Oh my God, I loved Wings.
Yeah, me too. And I still love that album.
Have you ever seen the Linda McCartney story, the movie?
No.
Oh my God. Well, don't watch it. Well, you should watch it. Oh God, because I
it's devastating?
sobbed through it.
You know what's interesting? I don't know. You have Disney Plus, right?
Yes.
So have you watched the Beatles Behind the Music?
Not yet.
Okay, there's 3 parts. We've seen the first act. There's 3 acts. Well, you know me. I was a hardcore Beatle fan for my whole life, and so I'm like, I know everything about the Beatles, but I would love to see this.
Yeah.
So I'm watching it. Man, I've only seen 1 act, and I'm like, wow, my perception was not completely off.
Yeah.
John was done with the band already.
He was.
But he was also really lighthearted. And then I was watching it going, everybody's so critical of how they all behaved and how they treated each other. But I'm like, I Googled it when I was watching it. George Harrison was 24 years old.
Yeah, I mean, honestly.
24. He was a baby.
All
They were
bands.
John Lennon was the oldest at 29.
Wow.
I mean, my God, they were children practically.
Yes, they were. And the amount of fame and fortune that they experienced.
They were so... And you know what? I mean, I have a lot of opinions as to why it fell apart. A lot of it was because Brian Epstein died. When their manager died, they fell apart. And that's why they broke up. Nobody was controlling the ship. They were
and
just
half of them not have died, and mostly John, because he died so
was
young.
killed.
Yeah.
He was 32.
He was. I think
was he that young?
he was young.
Yeah, it was
he
something
may
like
if
that.
he was 40, that'd be the oldest I would
I don't
guess.
think he was that old.
He was very young.
he was
But
in
I
his
think
30s.
I think they would have ended up being like some of these other bands where
They
they
might have
got
come back and
older, they
gigged.
matured, and they're like, you
Yeah.
know what, the stupid shit we were fighting about in our 20s so doesn't
We're all
matter
husbands
anymore.
and dads.
And now we're all rich, and who cares?
They might have done another album.
Like the Eagles did. I mean, I know when Glenn Fry died, I'm over it now.
Yeah.
Like they just, you beat that horse to death. You
Yeah.
can't,
No.
But when he was alive and they did a few more tours.
They did that one tour. I saw it.
I have the DVD special.
Yeah, we went and Daryl took me to it. I wanted to see it.
Oh my God, I hate you.
Yeah, I wanted to see it. I was like, no, this is it, because I wasn't
It was
alive.
good.
I wasn't old enough for the Eagles when they were at their top of their game.
Right.
So I'm like, yeah, I'd like to
Right.
see it. Now they're all gray and grizzled, but
They practiced for years.
They sounded amazing.
They were
It
like,
was
if we're going to
good.
do this, we have to sound like we used to sound. We can't be shitty. And
they
they
did.
weren't.
And they
Yeah,
really
they were
did.
so good.
Anyway, with all of that being said, so Jamie Johnson. Now I know some of his stuff, and I said, and I told Daryl, I said, first of all, I can't not enjoy live music. Live music is amazing, and if they're musicians, it's going to be great.
Right.
So we went out to this dinner. We had dinner. It was fun. We hadn't seen Brad and Prithee in a social aspect in years.
So it was really fun.
At first, it was a little awkward because we're like, hey, so what's up, everyone? How's our lives? Because we just
Right.
don't interact socially very often. But by the evening, we were back into our groove.
We're
Everything was
vibing.
cool. Yeah. And so
That's good. That's fun.
it was nice. It was so nice to be relaxed. And
Brad and Daryl are really close.
oh my God.
So I think it's even better.
It was really cute too, because we were at dinner and I said, I'm gonna order gin and tonic, and Prithee ordered something, she had a vodka something, and then Daryl goes, I'm gonna have an old fashioned and I'll have this whiskey, because Daryl's such a
Yes.
snob when it comes to whiskeys.
Right.
He's like, I'm gonna have this, and then he turns to Brad, goes, would you like us? Goes, I'll have what he's having. And he kind of did that throughout the night.
Aww.
And it was so cute.
So
Because he's his
cute.
baby brother. And you forget, because everybody's old now, you don't think
Yeah,
about it.
I know,
But I'm
right?
like, you see the dynamic and how much he loves his brother. And I absolutely.
It's adorable.
It was amazing to see.
So
I
cute.
loved it so much. Anyway, and in fact, even Prithee turned to me and she goes, he loves his brother so much. I go,
Aw.
it's mutual.
Well,
it
that
was
you-
it was a very fun visit.
I'm
We had
so
a great
glad. I'm so
time.
glad. That's
Yes.
amazing.
Speaking of, so the concert, we get there. Okay, so we walk in. You had to have your COVID card. You had to have a mask. All the things. They're like, if you're getting up, you must be masked. We don't fuck around, and
Right.
they did not at all. When you're at your chair, you can take it off.
Right. Was
And
it outdoor?
No, it's inside. It's a theater.
Oh, okay. I was about to
So
say.
we were in the front, like I said, second row. We had like 4 people in front of us, and that was it.
Awesome.
And so, but I walk in, and immediately I am full. The house is full of boys in plaid shirts and baseball caps.
Oh, Lord.
That's the uniform. And I said, well, I didn't get the memo.
Right.
But that's
We're in
okay.
Napa. It's
Well,
usually-
these people, because Jamie Johnson never comes here, these people were from
Came
Dixon,
everywhere.
Fresno. They were from all the farmlands of our valley.
Yeah, which is
it was
everywhere.
Totally great.
Yeah.
And it was great that they were all vaccinated. I loved it. I'll be
Yeah.
honest. I was happy to see it. So anyway, we sit down, we get cocktails. and the show starts, and the guitarist comes out, and he's warming up the crowd, and everybody's getting ready, and he comes out, and I turn to Prithvi, I go, he is really attractive. And she's like, oh, he is? I go, oh, yeah. And every single one of them wore cowboy hats. Every single one.
So
and different types of cowboy hats.
Right.
That's just what because they're very, like, they're from Alabama and Texas and Tennessee.
That is how they are diverse in their fashion statements. It's subtle, but
they all wore jeans and Wrangler, whatever. They
Yes.
were country singers, some country musicians, and they were authentic. So he came, I go, God, he's really cute.
And they are so hot.
So I never said a thing again.
Which is why I love Blake Shelton. I'm sorry.
Oh, I'd climb him in a minute. We talked about it.
I watched him sing a duet with Kelly Clarkson the other day.
Oh, yeah.
I think it was
He's
a
really
Christmas
good.
song.
You forget because of the voice. You forget how
Well, it's
good
been a long time since I'd heard him sing again.
Yes.
And so when I was listening to him and Kelly sing, I was like, God.
Yeah, don't do any more duets with your wife. Can you do some real country music
Kelly
now?
is the shit.
Fuck, I love her so much. I love
her.
Kelly Clarkson. I am back on the fan. I've always been a fan. Even when she auditioned for American Idol, brand new, came on stage. She goes, "Hi, I'm Kelly Clarkson," and she's saying, "What? She's winning the show."
Right?
There's no doubt. There's no
I
one
don't
better
remember
than her.
that far back.
I do.
I just remember how excited I was because it was such a different kind of show.
Fucking love that
back
show.
then.
Yeah, I don't like it now, but I liked it
well,
then.
It's been 20
Simon's
years.
gone. Who cares?
Everything's different. Yeah.
Anyway, so I turn to Prithvi and I go, he's really hot. And she goes, you think so? I go, yeah. And she's like, okay. So we're sitting there. That dude picked me out of the crowd so fast. And so Daryl and I were, so the four of us are sitting. And
now I see your football player all the time.
And we're, oh God, isn't he cute?
Yes, he's cute.
He likes women of color, though. He doesn't
I don't care. I can still look at him.
Oh, me too. Hey, he looked at me. But anyway.
Right.
I swear to God. Anyway, so I didn't see it. Daryl
I'm
did.
the only one who would believe that.
I know.
Because some people be like, you just think he did. No.
No, they do.
No.
I hate to tell you. So I'm sitting there. Now, this is what I'm wearing to the show because we went to dinner. So, and my awkward moment comes into play later.
Of course.
But I got these
I knew it.
really cool pleather leggings. And then I was wearing a black turtleneck. And then I got this new camel wrap coat that I love it so much. So I was wearing all black with my camel wrap coat. I took the wrap off, but it was just whatever. And I had my big hoops on and whatever. And I was just not looking
cute.
country at all.
Right.
Because we had gone to dinner and stuff. And I didn't care.
Right.
We all went back and changed. Or they changed. I changed my shoes. But the boys changed into their country whatever.
Oh, that's
so
cute.
anyway,
Daryl has country attire?
he has a lot of plaid and a lot of baseball caps. Yes. Anyway, so I'm sitting there. And apparently, I was not looking. I was looking. He had a horn section. So I was looking at the horn sections. And Daryl leans over. He goes, "Your boyfriend's looking at you." And I go, "What are you talking about?" He pointed at me, and I'm like, "Who? What?" He goes, "The guitarist." And I'm like, "No,
Maybe
he's
he'll
not."
invite me on stage.
You know what? They were calling people out. I'm like, "Do not," because I'm not going up there. No. And I go, "How do you?" And Prithvi goes, "How did he know that you thought he was hot?" I go, "Because we've been married for 100 years. He knows everything. He knew that I probably thought he was hot."
As soon as he saw me, he's like, oh, God.
Exactly.
That's Jamie's type.
So then Jamie Johnson comes out and he sang so many amazing songs, covers. He didn't just sing his own stuff. So like he sang a ton of Merle Haggard.
Love.
He sang some Bob Seger. He sang
love
Linda
it.
Ronstadt. He sang everything.
Yay.
I sang for 2 hours. My
you knew.
voice is shot. It was so great. I mean,
I know Daryl
so much
posted
fun.
a video on social media and talked about singing, but I did not watch it yet.
Oh my God.
I think I was driving and I'm like, I can't.
He's videoing.
But he's singing also?
Well, what happened was I initially was sitting in the middle seat. And I'm like, I don't want to be here front and center. I'm like, I'm not the fan. You guys are. So I moved to the end on the row.
Right.
And I had Brad and Daryl sit in the center seats because they're the ones that
They
cannot.
could be together and then, yeah.
And just, they were so in love the entire,
That's
they're
so
like, we
cute.
love it here. So Daryl is videoing his favorite song that he sings. And I'm just, watching whatever. So then he shows it to me the next day, and it's all you hear is Daryl singing off key. You don't sing it. You don't hear him at all. He's like, sing it in color. And I'm like, wow. Great. He's like, I did it again. Because he did it before. He's done it before.
See, I am so aware of when the video is on.
Oh my God.
That you would not even know what was me.
I'd be deaf mute. I'd be like, Don't ask me a question. I'd be like,
even if I talk, yeah.
I'd be like, waving my hand.
I talk on a video, I'm like, yeah. I'm like, God, why did you speak? Why didn't you do anything?
Just sit there quietly.
Silence.
Anyway, so the show, he played for a solid 2 hours. So we got out of there.
It's so ironic that we have a podcast.
Right? Well, nobody can see us, though. So.
Well, yeah, I know. But I mean, on the video, like when I took video of us at the air show, I'm walking around and I was saying a couple of things. And then when I watched the video later, I'm like, you fucking twat. Why were you talking? Shut up.
You know what? Daryl will go, oh, listen to this part. I thought this part was so funny that you guys did. And he'll like rewind and play. And I'm immediately like, I said, why are you making, and I get really hostile. And I'm like, why are you making me do this right now? And
I don't want to listen.
Because it's really funny. I go, yeah, I was there. I remember. I go, I don't need to hear it. He goes, I don't understand why you don't want to hear it. And I go, because I hate my voice and I sound like an hysterical chicken and I don't want to listen to it.
So that's why we have a pod chat.
Right. That's why we have a pod chat.
Podcast.
So anyway, he goes, you don't have a sound, you don't have a voice. And he's got to be very serious because all he wants to do is laugh. He goes, you do not have a voice of hysterical chicken. It's very soothing. It's fine. I go, I want you to hear it. And I'm like, no, I refuse. And I'll walk out.
I get compliments on my voice, granted, only from men.
Of course.
They always have to say something. God, how can you be creepy on the phone? When you're talking to the welfare girl, I could be 800 pounds. You don't know what I look like.
Men, they are so visual. They just need a visual. Like, what do you look like? Anything. Just
he didn't even ask me. Oh, I'm talking like you know what I'm talking about. Yeah, I literally had a guy, I'm like, he's on the verge of asking me out. And I almost said it. I'm like, I was going to be like, don't do it.
This is really inappropriate.
It's inappropriate. I'm glad I made you feel comfortable.
You are unprofessional.
But we are being listened to.
Oh my God.
And my boss is probably cracking up in his office right now.
Do you have protocol for that?
Well, I am supposed. It is my job to what they call control the call,
and you have lost control.
I have to reel them back in. The problem is that I'm also supposed to make them feel like they can trust me and they can open up to me.
Oh, and you know what? And men love that.
We talk about honestly,
they want to feel comfortable and like, oh, this woman really gets me.
Exactly.
Do you want to talk about the time where we were at Paula's bachelorette party and the one sad sack found me and he's like, I'm just looking for a woman who wants to have children and have a family. And I'm like,
at Paula's bachelor, were we at the bar?
Yes.
Oh God.
And he goes, let me buy you a drink. And I'm like, okay, I'll let you buy me a drink simply because I'm not buying my own drinks tonight. I've decided. And I said, but we're going to the bar and I'm going to get it directly from the bartender. You're not giving me anything.
Was this the night Paula got drugged? Oh no, this was
No. This was her first bachelor party.
Oh, I don't even remember that one. That was so long ago.
No, you do. That was the one where those two Bert and Ernie fellas came over and tried to order the group of us shots and they got us rot gut. And it was Rocca Tequila in...
Where were we?
The Sutter Street Saloon in Folsom. It was Paula's favorite bar.
Yeah,
and so they ordered us. They're like, I bought shots for the bachelorette party because there was like 8 of us. And so they lined them up. Paula did.
Oh.
And so they lined them up and they were in these like clear...
little boots or something?
No, it was worse. They were like in these clear like red Solo cups.
Ugh.
And I'm like, do you know how hard it is to take a shot of anything out of one of these? It's disgusting. It's like trying to drink medicine.
And then it was rock gut on top of it.
And it was rock gut. And what was funny is...
I'll take the Will whiskey for the ladies at the bar.
Right, $2 a shot. So Paula goes...
Buy 4, get 2 free.
Paula goes, what is this? And I said, well, I think it's rock gut. And she's like, holy shit. And you go, don't be rude. And you're like, good.
Oh, God.
You suck that shit down. And I'm like, you can have mine. You're like, fine, don't be rude. They bought us drinks. And you were just shoveling it down. I'm like, I did take a sip. I went, absolutely not. I'm not drinking this.
I can't believe I did. I must have been drunk.
We were all drunk. That was the thing. And so...
that would not happen today.
God, no. But somehow... And Stephanie, I don't know why this happens. I was kind to a gentleman for 30 seconds.
Right.
And then suddenly he goes, you're so nice. And he goes, I hope that he looks back on that evening and is embarrassed.
I don't think
I hope he's ashamed and embarrassed. He literally got emotional. He's like, my girlfriend, she just didn't want to do it and she moved out. And so I'm out here and I'm like, I'm going to find the one. And he goes, and you're just so nice. And I said, I'm married. I don't know if I made that clear to you, but I'm married.
I'm not the one.
He's like, yeah, but is it your soulmate? It's like, what if it's us? And I'm like, okay, fella, I don't know how to get rid of you.
Right.
I said, I don't make it a practice to be a complete cunt to people I don't know.
Right.
I said, but I'm about this close.
Yeah.
I'm not here for you or for me, by the way. And so ultimately, he literally slunk out of the bar.
Well, he needed to. He needed that lesson. We've talked about the lessons people need to learn. And I'm sorry that it feels like we're always the one to have to deliver them.
I take that responsibility very seriously. teach you the lesson?
Well, I believe the guy that was hitting on me on the phone the other day, I think the way it got so awkward I got awkward.
Of course.
Well, I just told you my awkward moment, but
yes,
I didn't get awkward because of something I did. He made me feel awkward.
Yeah.
And then I'm trying to like get out of it. Because I mean it's very uncomfortable when you're at work.
Well, and that's the conundrum is that if this was in any other situation, you'd be like, hey, asshole, stop.
Right?
This is so creepy. What are you doing?
Oh my God. And it's like, but you can't.
You're at work.
How do you, So I made my point and I think he figured it out. And because then it was kind of like, all right, bye, have a good day, goodbye, you know.
Yes.
And we hung up and I was like, ugh. I was like so creeped out. I like literally had to go on break. But I am hoping that when he hung up, he was like, I'm an idiot.
I hope so.
I hope so.
I
hope he reflected, and I will not go into the details on the show, but I hope he reflected on the conversation which brought us together, why he was calling.
Yeah, let's not forget why you were calling, sir.
And looked back on that and thought, what was I thinking?
This is absolutely out of line.
Like, why would she want to go out with me?
Ever. I live under a bridge. Why would I ever? This is ridiculous.
Yeah, right?
Please, would you like a seat on my cardboard
Let's meet
couch?
at Loaves and Fishes for some coffee. It's free. That way you don't have to worry about the check.
Anyway, so the concert was great.
I'm so glad. That sounds
blew
like
out
such
of there.
a fun
Yeah,
time.
he played for like 11 hours. He played till 11. We were there for
That's pretty late
2.5
for Napa.
hours.
I thought they had like a noise thing.
They do for outdoor, but you know, whatever. So we all leave, and of course, I am hoofing it quickly back to the hotel. And Daryl's like, wait! Because, I mean, as you may or not, there was a storm brewing.
Yeah.
And it was raining, and it was freezing.
It was
and
so
I'm like,
cold.
I'm out of here. So he's like, please, why are you running away? I'm like, well, because we're walking home because the hotel's 2 blocks away, and I don't want to dilly-dally.
I'm getting there.
People are volatile after any kind of celebrations.
You're like me. I'm so paranoid.
People were out in the streets. There was a lot of
Commotion.
alcohol flowing.
Yeah.
And frankly, it was predominantly a male audience, which is fine. And I'm just like, you know what? This is just not my thing.
Let's get out of here and get back to the
If
room.
I was single, I would have lollygagged because there was a lot of cutie pies there, but I had no interest.
Right.
No interest. And they were all super young. So anyway,
Right.
I'm making a beeline. And Joe's like chasing me. And so we get back to the hotel, and we don't want the party to end. It's only like 11:30.
Yeah, well, once you're at the hotel, you're safe.
Yes.
No one has to drive. You're
That's
not out
right.
in public anymore. You can go right up to the room if somebody starts to get weird, even if you're sick or you're going to pass out or whatever. It's like, I got to go to the room.
Yeah.
We're safe. We're good. The hotel's happy to welcome you to their bar.
So Brad goes, come to our place. They are like you.
They had a bar.
They bring their own stuff. They have a whole setup. They have cocktails.
Easy
and I'm like,
peasy.
okay, great. So we went, they had a nicer suite than we did because.
Really?
Well, because they wanted the full bar setup. They wanted to be able to make cocktails and have whatever.
You guys were just doing a little mini night.
Yeah, so we had a suite, but theirs was like a they had like a little baby
like
living,
a parlor.
They had like a living room or something,
Yeah.
and it was really cool. And they get those because when they bring their kids,
Sure.
they can continue their
Same.
party.
You know,
and
that's why we get one.
Exactly. And when I walked in,
So
I
we
went,
can have some kind of separation.
exactly. So this room would be for you.
Yeah.
You would love this room. So anyway, we're sitting down. It's like midnight or so. Next thing we know, Prithvi is completely passed out, not drunk, just exhausted, sleeping.
Yeah.
And I am tired. And I'm also like not in my room. And I'm like,
you can't be comfortable.
I'm still in my clothes that I wore to the party or to the thing. So at one point, he and Brad decide they want to play dominoes. And I'm like, well, that sounds fun, but I'm not playing. And because I don't know how, and I'm not interested. And
tired.
So I said, hey, can I have the room card? I'm just going to go to bed. He goes, oh, no, then I just won't play. And I'm like, no, stop. I'll just hang for a minute. Go ahead and play. I don't want to cut off the party.
And let you go.
5 minutes later, because I have no patience. 5 minutes later, I'm like, give me the fucking card. And he's like, what? I go, I want to go home. I'm tired. My friend has just fallen asleep. I don't want to sleep here. I want to go.
Yeah.
And he's like, fine. So he gives me a card. I'm like, bye. I walk in the door. It's 3 a.m.
Oh, shit, no.
I'm like, no wonder I'm exhausted.
Yeah, you didn't have any. You had more than patience. Hello.
So
I would have been gone at 12:05.
Yeah, so I get all ready for bed. He goes, well, you're taking the only card, so you're going to have to stay awake. And I'm like, don't worry. I sleep less than you do. It's fine.
Not only that, but if you knock on a hotel room door,
it's loud.
I am going to wake up in half a second.
Yeah, so I get all ready for bed. I cannot find the switches to turn off the lights.
Or you just call me. I keep my freaking cell phone right next to my head. You're standing outside the door. Ring, let me in.
Right.
Okay.
I couldn't find the switches to turn off the lights by the bed. And I looked everywhere, every switch. I'm like, okay, whatever. So I unscrewed the light bulbs and I went to bed and I just laid down
on the floor.
I passed
the kind
out.
you step on?
No, Daryl found them later the next day when he screwed the light bulbs back in. He's like, they were on the pole. And I'm like, what pole? They were hanging from the ceiling. I don't know. So anyway.
You had no patience at this point. You were like, look.
I'm so tired.
This is the fastest way to get this light off.
Yeah, so by the time he got home, it was almost 4 a.m. And, he's like, all right, good night. And I'm like, ugh. So we wake up.
Were you mad that he was gone, or were you just
not
tired?
At all. I would
so
give a fuck.
I'd be like, do your thing with your brother.
I told him to stay there. I'm like, just stay up all night. I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
No, I was not mad. I was just so tired. And so
totally.
I wake up.
Tired will make me angry.
I wake up and it's like 9. And I'm like, am I hungover or am I tired? Nope,
tired.
Wasn't hungover. Did not have that much alcohol.
Exhaustion is almost worse.
It was worse. And so what was hard was that we had to go to a work party for Daryl's client. And he had specifically requested if I could attend because it was this incredibly intimate, like very, very small group because of the COVID thing.
Right.
And so the fact that they were allowing me to attend, I thought was really, really great.
It was. But then you had to be on your game.
Right. So I changed.
You had like 4 hours of sleep.
Right. So we got late checkout, of course.
And I hate Puffy.
We got late checkout. I did not have time to shower and do all the things because I'd rather sleep. So I started getting ready at like 11. And we had to be out of there. So I said, go, and I didn't even want, I was so tired. I didn't even want coffee, which was weird.
That is
Daryl's like,
strange.
are you feeling okay? I'm like, yeah, I'm feeling fine. It's just coffee does not sound good. So I said, I need water. I need secrets. I feel like I've been through the ringer.
I need hydration.
Something. And so we get there. So Daryl is tired too. So we're literally sitting in a parking lot and we're both just sitting in a parking lot. We have 3 hours before the party. And we're like, what are we going to do? And he goes, well, do you want to go shopping? I'm like, I don't want to do anything right now.
Were you in your car?
We were in his truck.
Oh, well, that's good because you could actually sleep in that.
Yes. So we just sat there for a while. He worked and I just sat there and I played Pokemon a little bit and then I'm just like zoning out. He goes, well, do you want to listen to anything? I'm like, you know what? I really don't. I just want to sit here quietly. So we finally went and got McDonald's and we just sat there. I didn't even eat half the McDonald's. I'm like, oh my God. We went into the party and I'm like, okay, here we go. He's like,
what day? This was Sunday?
This was yesterday. Yeah.
Monday.
It was a work thing. So I'm like, here we go.
Right. It was a work thing.
So I'm like, let's do this. And so I'm like,
we need to get a room for 3 hours.
Well, you know what? We could have paid for a half day at the hotel.
Almost would have, yeah.
But we didn't because we really, he did need to work and
I get it.
all that. So we walk in.
If I'm in tow, I need somewhere to be.
It's true. So, but it was. So they walk in. They immediately hand us a glass of champagne. I'm like, I can't drink this.
So you just politely sip
Please.
it.
So I took one sip and I'm like, I don't know if I
want to
can
gag.
I turned to him. I was like, I don't know if I can do this.
So I have smelled alcohol and gagged. I watched them pour it. And I'm like,
I wasn't even hungover, but I'm like,
no, I was in this instance.
But I'm like, I'm so partied out. I'm just so, but it was every single person that was there I have met before, and they are absolutely a delight. I love them. I love seeing them when I do. The conversations were wonderful. It was in this super old Victorian mansion. We got the full tour.
Oh, nice.
It was super fun. George Clooney has a pool table there, so we got to see that. It was really great.
Well, it's a bummer that it had to be on the heels of a full-blown party.
And you know what? It was funny because when I said I would love to go to this party with you. I said, but that means best behavior the night before.
Yeah.
Well, it was.
Well, he should have let you go. I'm sorry.
Yeah, and it was anything but
at midnight because you know what? It's like okay.
It was like I asked to go at like 2 a.m. 1 or 2 a.m.
I appreciate the fact that he offered to come with you, but then the pressure's all back on you.
Yeah, and then Brad's like, wait, I'm not ready to be done.
Yeah, so I would have been like, yeah, honey, go. I mean,
I would have been.
This would have been the ideal response in my mind is for him to just been like, yeah, totally go, and him stay, so you don't have to feel guilty.
I know.
And you could have gone to the room and you could have slept.
I know. I wish he had just been selfish.
It's
okay.
It's fine.
It's fine.
Daryl can't be perfect all the time.
He's far from perfect.
Oh, I know. I'm just saying.
But the ride home was
in theory.
Yeah. So finally, we had been at the party for
makes my husband look like a saint.
We had been at the party for about an hour and a half, and we ultimately ended up talking to each other more than anything because we had talked to everybody like twice. Yeah. It was very intimate. It was just one of those things where I turned to him and I said, do you need to stay longer? Because if you do, that's fine. I'll just chill. I'll find something to do. I really, they have a photographer, super exciting to talk to, very interesting. I really enjoyed his company. I said, because I can do that. And he's like, I don't know. I mean, I kind of pretty much talked to everyone, and some of his coworkers showed up. If we go. And I said, can we leave? And he goes, I think we can leave. And I said, all right, awesome. So we got up, we said our goodbyes. They were a little disappointed, and I'm like, oh shit, maybe we should have stayed longer. But it was, it would have ended at 6 and it was almost 5. And so I'm like, it's okay. So we took off and we walked in the door. He goes, I don't know about you. He goes, but I don't think I'm even going to hit the pillow before I fall asleep. I said, beat you to it.
Yes.
All right.
Okay.
So with that being said, we watched, just like most people watched, and just like that.
Oh, yes.
The premiere, the first episode.
Now, I have to tell you, I did not watch it when it premiered.
I know. Well, I watched it the day after it premiered, and I said, oh, shit, it's on. And I'm like, I really want to see it.
Well, I was seeing it all over social media, and I'm like,
Yes.
shit, I missed the first episode. Oh, my God, my bad.
So
So
as everybody probably knows, on HBO Max and Just Like That is the reprise of Sex and the City. They released the first 2 episodes, and then it looks like it's going to be a weekly episode release.
Okay, yeah, I'm waiting for the next one.
it
Oh, so they
doesn't-
did release the first 2.
Yeah,
I was
that's it.
assuming that I had missed 2 weeks.
No.
I was like,
They
oh my
released
God.
the first 2, which when you saw both, you can see why.
I do.
We
yes.
are talking spoilers. If you don't want to hear it, if you're one of the few women that haven't watched it yet, fast forward. It's
yeah.
fine, but we're talking spoilers.
Do
because
it.
the reality is that most of it was spoiled the next day. And
I was so pissed.
Which is, by the way, the reason that I had to watch it. I'm like, okay, well, shit, I guess I better watch it.
I knew someone died, but I didn't know who.
Yeah, because they were doing funeral scenes, and we saw the
I
filming.
didn't even watch any of that.
Oh, like the
I
paparazzi
literally,
stuff?
all I was seeing was paparazzi stuff.
Yeah, that's
TMZ,
me too.
Main character killed off on, and just like that. I'm like, okay, good. So I literally stayed off social media.
Thinking it was
And if I
Samantha.
saw anything, I scrolled really fast.
Yes.
Yeah. And so then all of a sudden I saw one thing about how we feel about Big dying. I was like, no! Because I hadn't seen it
You're
yet.
like, now I have to watch it.
And then I had to watch it.
So what happened? Same thing happened to me.
I was angry.
I was scrolling through TikTok and somebody did a rip big, and I went, and I went, oh man, and I wasn't like outraged, but I'm like, well, I knew there was a chance,
I wanted to know who. I mean,
Right.
I wanted to find out.
right. I said,
On my
and in my
own.
mind, I'm like, well, I knew there was a chance. I said, but oh well. And you know what? It doesn't matter. I mean, it did to me. It did. I mean, spoilers do matter, but not to the point where I'm going to be like, God damn it, you.
No, you know what? If it hadn't been big, I probably wouldn't have cared.
Right. So
Honestly.
anyway, okay. Do you see this? My wall of notes on the show,
Yeah.
Stephanie. Okay, here's the thing. I'm going to continue watching this show.
Oh, I am too.
I'm watching it till the bitter end.
But do you feel like I do about Dexter about the show?
A little. The number one fear I had.
Okay, but first of all, I have to say this.
Sure.
You hate Carrie.
I do.
Okay.
Oh, well, hate is a strong
Okay,
word.
not hate, but you find her to be a bad friend.
I
You
find
think
her
she's-
to be very vapid and selfish.
right, and I think they really emphasize a lot of that so far.
Well, well, let me just look at my notes so we can go in order because I want to go in order. I don't want to forget anything. I'm putting on my spectacles.
She has an outline.
Well, I just have a lot of notes because I didn't
Roman
want to.
numeral 1.
I didn't want to miss anything, and I knew that we were probably on the same page on a lot of things.
We'll
There's
see.
a couple of things. So first of all, my fear. Well, let's start with this. Show opens. They're getting ready to have lunch at this beautiful indoor-outdoor looking restaurant. It's stunning. Very first thing I notice: New York City is finally diverse. It is no longer a wave of white people walking around on the street. There was much diversity. I really loved it. And it was something they should have done 20 years
long
ago.
time ago.
And they didn't. And it's fine because we know more now. We know
Right.
more now.
So we have evolved.
I did like that part of it. The fear I have of them leaning into the wokeness is real. Now, what I'm hoping is
The non-binary
well,
boss.
I don't even mind that.
I don't mind it.
I don't mind that. What I didn't like was,
She's very prevalent.
It's twofold. Well, I think she's going to be Miranda's girlfriend, but that's another thought. But this is the twofold.
Oh, you're right.
This is the
because
twofold.
of the way they met and how everything came down.
The twofold of the woke is this. I'm hoping that it's so glaringly obnoxious that there's a reason. Like it's gonna kind of sophisticate itself out. I'm hopeful.
Hope so.
Because right now
It's very in our face. It's
Right.
not subtle, and I don't. It's not natural. to me.
Miranda is going so overboard. It's almost like she got all of her social justice crap on Twitter. Like she's
Right.
not an educated woman. And the thing that I struggle with on this show in totality is they're supposed to be my age. I
Right.
don't look, dress, or behave or think like that.
I don't understand why they're doing that. Why they're exaggerating.
They're in a cosmopolitan, one of the most sophisticated cities in the world, and they act like they've never even heard of a podcast. Are you kidding me?
I agree. I
on.
agree. I mean, I find that
I'm so disappointed.
Sarah was looking better in the second episode than she did in the first.
Yes.
So I hope she finds her groove or whatever.
Yes.
What they're doing with Miranda, I don't understand.
Well, she clearly has an alcohol problem.
In real life?
No, on the show.
Miranda?
Yeah. She's always self-medicating with alcohol. Did you not pick that up?
Well, I pick up that she went to a bar and had a glass of wine at 11 a.m. Yes. Now that, you know what? I am so oblivious sometimes to the subtleties.
You were watching it in a different way.
I was watching it. I had to watch it with a very open mind.
I did too.
Because I knew I was going to be so incredibly judgy. And I didn't want to hate it because I was thinking I was going to hate it.
I will say this. I don't hate it. I don't hate it. Like, some people are like, I'm not watching another minute of this. I'm like, why?
What?
That's dumb.
It wasn't that bad.
It wasn't bad and like, this is trash. You know, it's like,
no.
First of all, Sex and the City wasn't award winning.
I mean, Oscar nominations.
They did win awards, but there was nothing like it back then.
Right.
And we've learned a lot since then. So anyway, I'm really hoping that this whole super far leaning into understand, like
them letting Brady screw in the bedroom.
Stephanie,
I can't with that.
I mean, so
it's just disrespectful.
I said,
that is not moving into the future.
Who had Steve and Miranda being the bad parents? I never thought that would happen.
And why is Steve suddenly this old, decrepit,
he's so
deaf,
old,
and he's not? I mean, they look ridiculous trying to be as old as they're making them.
I saw something the other day. When I finished watching, so I'm
Sean
watching
said she was 55, right?
Yes.
And Sarah, I hope she was joking when she said in 10 years when I'm 55.
No, she was joking.
I was like, that. It didn't even come off as like
they were all. Samantha was the only one. They were all within a year of each other.
Right.
Samantha was
like 5 years older.
She was 5 or 6 years older than they were because she was like, I'm 50 and I have nothing to be embarrassed about. Yeah. So it's like, anyway, so that was the other thing is the wokeness. I hate their costuming. I don't know why they're dressing them. I'm not really a big fan. I thought there were times when Carrie looked great. I thought Miranda would never dress like that.
She looks terrible.
I don't know why they're dressing her that way.
I don't either. They're dressing her like an old woman.
She used to be asexual. She used to wear men's suits and she wore
Gucci,
real tight lines and she looked so fucking good.
She's thin and tall in reality.
Now she looks like someone's grandma.
I agree. I don't know what they're doing.
Odd. And Charlotte
I wonder if they're going to make her evolve, like she's going to start having epiphanies about life.
That is my hope for this whole show. Is because
so it could either be the podcast boss, that could be her girlfriend, or the professor.
I don't think it's going to be the professor.
The professor doesn't strike me as...
I think the professor is going to be her education. I think she's going to learn how to be socially aware and how to...
Well, I mean, the non-binary woman could do the same.
The non-binary she wants to fuck her. There's no doubt in my mind that those two will be the thing. In fact, when we get to the end of
the chemistry that they had in the beginning.
Immediate. Yeah. But I have some thoughts on all of that as well.
Okay.
The other thing is, let's talk about the big thing. Let's talk about Big.
Right.
They killed him.
I know.
I can't fucking believe it. And I will tell you this. I knew he was going to be killed when she left. I knew he was going to die when she went to that horrible concert.
I knew he was going to die at that point, but that's only because it had been spoiled for me.
Right.
And I was like, okay, when are they going to kill him?
But here's the thing. Is he kept giving her this, I'm just looking at you. And he's looking out the window wistfully.
It was dumb.
I know why. I've figured it out.
What?
He's broke.
Oh, you think that's what's
and
going
I think
happen?
that's why they were going to the Hamptons, because I think he was gonna sell the Hamptons house to pay off his debt. And I think what's gonna happen is
she's gonna lose the
she's gonna have to sell the penthouse, move back to that
she's gonna
shitty
go back to the apartment. Oh my god, you're right. That's what's gonna happen.
And at first I thought, well, maybe he's dying, and that was gonna be the thing. Because he would never kill himself.
Because the next thing, they very briefly touched on it, was where Miranda...
You've got a lot of paperwork to sign.
Yeah, like, what do we do next? You know, with the paperwork and the...
And then the assistant who comes in practically drunk at the funeral, she's like, well, we got to get in touch. You have a lot of paperwork to sign. And in my mind going, maybe that's why she was so emotional at the funeral, because she knows he's dead. She knows he's broke.
Yeah, and they made that comment about, Big always said that you knew him better than anybody else.
I know it. It's going to be...
she's like...
And she's going to be like, I didn't know this about him. And it's going to be a way for her to be able to emotionally cut him out. And I'm going to be really mad about it.
Yeah, I'm
going to be really mad about it. I know it. I hope I'm so fucking wrong.
You're not wrong.
I'm wrong, but I'm not.
You are not wrong.
But
maybe certain details will be a little bit different, but you're 100% right.
So
because they even made sure that we remembered that she still had the apartment.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
We had to know that.
Because she was going to, I already have the key to your apartment.
Yeah.
So anyway, the whole death scene.
I wonder if Stanford's going to die.
I think he died after the show was done.
I know he did.
So
Yeah, you're right.
Season 2. Well, anyway, so she walks in and he's in the he's laying on the floor. He obviously cannot hit his phone because he's shutting down or whatever.
Are you going to talk about the fact that everybody's saying, like, why didn't she do CPR? Why didn't she call 911?
There's a couple of things. I did not think of the whole 911 I did think of CPR.
I was yelling at the TV. I'm like, call 911, you dumb bitch! Have them in a minute!
But
it's New York. They'll be there in 1 minute.
According to Michael Patrick King, or Star King, whatever his name is, he said that the scene was supposed to be slowed down so it looked like it was a longer, so we could get the impact of him dying. Excuse me, but that it was actually a split second. But for filming purposes, we wanted it to see an extension of what they were looking at each other.
They wanted to indulge the moment for all of us. Yes.
Right, but they didn't slow anything down. There was no slow motion. It was real time. So it looked like she was standing there for a glacial... Talk about impatient, Stephanie. I mean,
well, don't tell me you would see Daryl laying in the shower, fully clothed, clearly having a medical problem, and you would stand there for a moment and gaze in his eyes.
I would know because I've been married to him long enough, and she's been married to Big for 10 years, and he's always had a heart problem.
And boyfriend, girlfriend for 10 before that.
Right. So my point is, they made a very specific mention of his emergency tab in his nightstand when they were talking about masturbation. And he went to lean over and she goes, oh, you're getting your nitroglycerin. And he goes, no, I'm getting lube. And then I'm like, okay, so it's going to be a heart attack. And she's going to throw the pill under his tongue, right?
But she didn't.
So she's standing there, oh, John, honey. And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me right now?
So you'd rather hug him and like bawl than go get the pill?
And ruin your Manono ball. I mean, like, you ruined the Manolos. Why? So instead of just going running,
you were watching them go down the drain,
knowing that this plan should have been in place since the day one. That look, I have a heart problem. I have an emergency pills. This is where it is. So when ever happens, shove it under my tongue. Call 911. We're golden.
Well, and anybody who knows anything about heart attacks knows that even if you're in the throes of a heart attack, they can bring you back.
Yes, they can.
There's things they can do. It's not one of those things that it's like, well, too late.
Why couldn't she go, Siri, call 911, or Alexa, call 911? I mean, like, totally. Nothing.
Like, grab the pill. Or and that's the thing is, like, another human being, you can do CPR.
And why didn't she do CPR? Although I will say, it did look like for a moment that she was going to do CPR, and then she didn't do it. And I'm like, you know what?
Maybe they just didn't give us enough detail about how that went down for our satisfaction.
Is that I almost think she could be contributing to...
Well, and now they're going to make it a thing, and maybe you were going to touch it on your notes, but...
I just didn't want to forget anything.
That she's pretending like she's not angry with Charlotte or resentful, but she is.
Oh, you know what? I saw some things. They said...
That's why she didn't call Charlotte.
They said, this is Lily's second time in destroying Carrie's life.
What was the first?
She hid her phone at her first wedding with Big.
Right. I don't know where my phone is.
She hid in that stupid cupcake purse.
Yeah.
And literally derailed the entire wedding.
Right.
And now, although Lily had nothing to do with this, it was fucking Charlotte. And you know what? I would be mad at my friend. I would.
I mean, I would too, only for the fact...
But she did say, she's like, I'm mad at myself because I should have just done what I wanted to do instead of listening to your whiny ass bitch mouth, overinflated filler mouth, which they touched on.
And she's so superficial. What's her last name? Kristen Davis. She is irate about it. She is clapping back on social media.
She's like, what are we supposed to do? You know, she's like, I don't know.
I'll tell you what you're supposed to do. I would call Jane Fonda and be like, who is your plastic surgeon?
Thank you.
Because you look real.
And I look like I'm trying too hard.
And I look like a Cabbage Patch doll from the 80s.
You know what? And Kristen Davis, and Daryl and I, because after I finished watching the 2 episodes, because, okay, so Big dies. I am weeping.
I did cry.
I was weeping.
I thought you hated this so bad that you were like, I have no emotional connection to it. But I cried.
In fact,
I cried and cried.
Daryl, he goes, I stayed in the office because I heard...
No one wants you to cry.
I said,
yeah, I don't like to be watched.
I openly wept when he died. I go, because although he wasn't that great to her...
Well, she wasn't that great to him.
I loved that character.
I did too.
Just in general.
And by the way, he really looks great.
Oh God, he's so fucking handsome.
He's very handsome. He did not let himself go. I think Harry is too thin.
She's very thin.
No, Harry.
Oh, Harry. He does look thin.
He's a little too thin. He was always kind of a robust, short,
He has thinned out quite a bit.
But now he looks kind of gaunt, so he went a little too far. But I get it.
I would agree with you on that.
This is a huge thing for those type of actors because they really haven't had a whole lot going on that anybody was
Yeah.
interested in, and now everyone is watching this. So they're like,
Right.
okay, literally millions of people are going to watch this.
Right.
I haven't been on a movie or a show in forever. I
Right.
have to look good. So I'm sure they've been
Yeah.
physically preparing for their roles for
I agree.
a while.
So the other thing
You don't want to be fat.
I took issue with, which I don't know too many people. I mean, there were a few people that took issue with it, but like I said, I was looking at this very differently. Was the funeral. That whole scene with her being at the funeral home, I was crying. I cried through it. I'm
I
like,
did too.
because you think, well, if my husband were to pass away, this is what I would have to do, and it would be absolutely terrible.
Terrible.
And so then when the funeral actually hit, stunning.
It was.
However, not big. Big, if you look at their house, it's warm, mahogany. He likes
Agreed.
records. He likes whiskey. He was very indulgent.
cigars, yeah.
He likes that old New York. He was
did.
always like that. This was nothing like that.
No,
This
I
was like
know.
Alexander Petrovsky's funeral.
It was.
And on top of it, he's classic, all this shit. I go, but you put him in an oak fucking coffin? Where's the jet black coffin? Like,
Right.
what are we doing? And so with that, I'm like, I don't know who this was for, but it wasn't for Big.
Yeah.
I think it was
for Carrie.
And you know what? I agree, because she did the same thing she did at her first wedding, where she wore that truly heinous bird thing. She had a truly heinous black.
I thought it was feathers. No, it was a bird.
It was a bird, but she had that heinous, really tight black. She had that tight bun, and then she had that
Yeah.
big black disc sitting on her face, just like the
Retarded.
wedding.
I agree.
And I'm like, really? And I'm like, what the fuck is going on?
I don't know. It's like they always want to push the edge with her. Like, this is the edge of fashion. You know, it's not
I'm
too
cool
much,
with the edge of
but I am
fashion.
too. But I mean,
But
yeah.
I don't understand all of this. I go, Big was warm and
And
sexual.
he never really
and
liked her like that.
He didn't like her like that. He hated her wedding dress. He loved her when she had her hair down, nothing in it,
Yes.
like really casual. This was not, I don't know what this was. All I can think of, this is what she was feeling inside, which is very little.
Right.
Right? And the best part of that whole episode was when the woman from, and I can't remember her name, but she's like, am I the only one that remembers what a prick he was to her?
Oh, that was funny.
Best part!
There's going to be more to that, because that character's been on before.
Yes, she was.
She wasn't like a really significant person.
She was the one that someone told her to shut the fuck up. He's like, do you ever shut the fuck up at that dinner? And then she got their dog.
So what
she
did
got
you
the
think
dog.
about, because the funeral reminded me of, I was happy the way that they dealt with the Samantha issue.
Really?
I really was, because
I was not.
I was afraid that Sarah would take the opportunity to crucify her, humiliate her.
I think she did.
How?
Well, go on. I'll
I mean, they didn't kill her, for one.
No, I knew they weren't going to kill her off.
For two,
They're still trying to get her on the show.
and I think they will continue to do so.
Yep.
I think that the way that the episodes were written, it's very clear to me that they're like, we're not shutting that door.
Well, I think I don't think an actor ever says never, but I've seen enough interviews with Kim Cattrall where she's like, I've really released that character. I'm really done with it.
She really has, but I wonder how she'll feel about the way they wrote her into the show without her being in the show.
Well, it's okay. So
Tell me how you think it was insulting. I'm curious.
Because
I've had a few epiphanies during this conversation where
I
I'm
will
like,
say
oh my
this.
God, I didn't realize.
So they're like, so we're just going to talk like she's not, like, why are we acting like she's dead? Da, 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 da.
Yeah.
Couple of things. If you were, I think you were as well, but if you watched every single nanosecond of the original show,
Yeah.
Samantha was ride or die. Samantha never judged. She would never cut off a relationship because the industry had changed and she didn't need a publicist anymore. And Samantha would not be like ghosting people.
She's not petty.
Well, she never ever took anything personal. The only time she ever took anything personal from Carrie is when Carrie started to judge her about her sexuality and her sexual. Because Carrie judged her when she started her lesbian affair. Mm-hmm. She judged her when she was, doing the Richard thing. She judged her when she was rebounding by blowing UPS drivers.
Right.
Like she also would start to criticize her clothes.
Yeah.
Many times Carrie would be like, "You're gonna wear that?" She goes, "I'm gonna wear what the fuck I want. What do you care?"
Yeah.
Those were the times
Yeah.
when Samantha was legitimately like, who the fuck do you think you are, Carrie?
Right.
And then they would get into a fight.
Right.
So the fact that she would actually say money or a job would be the reason, and that she would literally, and she's like, she literally left the country because of it. I'm like, you so wish that you were the most important person in her pool. No. So to me, it was bad writing. They could have done this.
Like
this is
what?
I was
going to say, what could they have done?
What I was hoping is she would say, New York is over. UK's where it's at. It's post-pandemic. I'm out of here. I got a new pool to I'm taking over.
Yeah.
And they could have left it at that. She's like, oh, Samantha's in UK kicking ass.
Right.
New York is a different town, and that's where she's at. And they could have left it at that.
Right. But no, they had to make it about Carrie.
Oh, God. I'm like, you're such a terrible person. I mean, the character's bad. I don't know if Sarah Jessica.
Yeah.
I know that Kim Cattrall could.
According to Kim Cattrall, she's a bitch.
All she said was she could have been nicer. That's all she said. She goes, I never demanded more money. I never demanded projects. Those are all lies. She's like, she could have been nicer. And so when Sarah Jessica Parker posted on fucking Instagram her condolences that Kim Cattrall's brother had passed away.
Oh.
It was like a year or two ago. And she's like, oh, condolences. I'm so sorry. And Kim Cattrall was like, you fucking cunt. She's like, you didn't know my brother and you don't know me. We are not friends.
Yeah.
Don't need your condolences.
Right.
Because she was in the throes. She was like me and you with her brother. It would be like if one of us passed away and someone like...
Somebody that we barely know.
Or no, it'd be like Daryl's ex-wife going, oh my... You would fillet her.
Right.
Because you're like, why are you even on here? Like, what are you doing? No one gives a fuck what you have to say.
Right.
That's the thing.
Don't pretend for the purposes of publicity that you actually give a shit. Yeah.
So in that aspect, and she's always said, she goes, like, we were coworkers. It was great. And it's over. Like, what am I supposed to be best friends with Andrew McCarthy because we did Mannequin in the 80s? Like, I get her opinion. I get it.
I mean, this is where people get dumb, when they watch shows and they get so invested in the characters that they actually think they're real. And they're not.
Right.
I mean, people do the same. I know you hate it, but they do the same thing with the Kardashians. Yes, we are sisters. We have this thing that we do together.
Yes.
But the reality is we don't live each other's lives.
No,
like we're not
have
in our
lives.
homes. Yeah, and sisters are no. You work together and then you have your own life.
Yeah, it's supposed to be, like a normal adult. Right. So so that's pretty much all the those are pretty much all the things that I have. I have a couple of predictions. And then I also have some things that I wish they had done differently.
Okay.
The things I wish they had done differently is Miranda would be obsessed with podcasts. I think in a different world, because they did go through a pandemic like everybody else, she would be obsessed with podcasts. If she's so into social justice and helping minorities and immigration and all that stuff, which is admirable, she would be very aware of Twitter and podcasting, and she would be very sophisticated with the culture changes that we're having right now. She would not be like, oh, I don't know what's going on.
With her hardcore books. And
I love that the professor calls her out. She's like, well, thanks for your white heroicness.
Right.
We don't need it.
Well, I mean, I just don't understand.
It was just so clumsy.
When did she come so awkward? And she's a lawyer.
I know.
I mean, she's a Harvard-educated lawyer.
I know.
And suddenly she's this clumsy, clunky,
like, I don't know anything.
Awkward,
I don't even know how to dress anymore.
Yeah, like I forget how to go to school and be around people.
Stupid.
It's like, come on.
It's so disrespectful of the character.
It is.
That's what I hated.
To women, which is why it gets me. Like, I'm like, look, she is the one. You're right. She ran for Senate, or did she run for governor?
She ran for mayor.
Something, yes. And she's made a very big fuss over all of that, you know, about women's injustice and stuff. And so I'm like, why?
So why would the character be any different?
So why are you making her look dumb?
I just hate it. And I mean, whatever. Charlotte
and old.
Yes. Yeah.
God.
Charlotte.
I'm hoping that she's going to adapt or evolve, and that they're going to go from like one extreme to another.
I think they're all going to. I think that the point of this show is that they are all going to adapt, and evolve. They've devolved right now and currently, and it's horrible. But for me, if they had done this correctly, Charlotte would be an Instagram influencer,
right? Because
she's all about aesthetic. She's all about the look, how everything looks, which is, I think, why Harry is thin. Personally, I think they're going to call that shit out. I think something's going to happen in their family.
No one else can die.
No, I think that Lily is the perfect child, and I think Lily is going to either have a suicidal thought
or maybe get pregnant.
No, I don't think she's going to get pregnant. I think she's going to have some mental health issues because she's putting so much pressure.
Well, the other one is they're trying to make it look like the wild child, Rose.
Yeah, because she's also very open and honest and doesn't fight and fights her mom every tooth and nail.
Right.
And I think she's healthy. I think that Lily is so quiet and perfection. I think she's going to either derail mentally, or she's going to completely just say, I'm not doing this anymore.
Maybe.
Or leave. Or, something's going to happen. And then Charlotte's going to have to figure out that, oh, well, looks aren't everything, are they? And I think that's going to be the whole thing.
I wonder if they're going to travel.
I don't know. know.
They
But I
always
think that's why
had.
I think Harry's going to start eating Hostess cupcakes again, and he's going to put a little more weight on him
and put his hairy naked ass on the white couch.
I really think that Charlotte has such a tight grip on this family. They're going to be like, you're the worst.
Yeah.
Like, we are so in control. We're so controlled. We don't even know how to wind our ass or wind our watch.
Right.
I think that's all going to implode on her, and she's going to have to be humbled.
Yeah.
In a perfect world, though, Charlotte would be an Instagram influencer.
Yeah,
because
you're
of
right.
it, you know? And she'd be very popular. Carrie would not be the one into podcasts.
No.
She'd love Instagram, but I mean, that would be it. She
Well, I
was
mean,
so
what-
anti-tech.
I know,
She
writing
didn't
is
want anything to
writing.
do
Like
with
writing,
anything.
yeah, but I think they're trying to get, like, she can't be a writer for Vogue because people don't read Vogue anymore.
No, but she's still a writer.
But yeah,
She writes
right.
books.
I know. You're right. Yeah. So many questions.
So my prediction is that Brady's going to get someone pregnant. I think we all know that's coming.
or something bad.
Something. So Miranda is self-medicating with booze. I don't know if she's a full-grown alcoholic, but she's definitely self-medicating.
Yeah.
She was drinking constantly through that funeral.
Yeah.
I think she's going to end up dropping out of school. I don't think she's going to finish that. She's going through some kind of midlife crisis. And did you notice how weird she was when Charlotte's friend showed up at their luncheon at the very first episode? And she's like, oh, well, you know, if you like fries, you're a friend of mine. Remember she was acting like that?
Yeah.
I think she's attracted to her. And that's why she's like, what the fuck is going on with me? Why am I finding women attractive?
So maybe that's why they're making Steve look like such an idiot.
I think, well, they're definitely minimizing his virility.
Right?
I don't know what's going on.
I know. You know what? I hate that they're doing that to that character. I really, really do. You know?
Yes.
But yeah. You know what? And the more you say that, the more I think about it. Like her going over to the bar to get a drink at the funeral, and she's like,
Yep.
"Oh, I'm family. You know, this is where
she's coming up with lots of excuses.
Right.
And maybe she's drinking a lot more at home than they're letting on the
well,
show.
we're only 2 episodes in. Do we know how many episodes we're going to get out of this?
I went to Wiki, and it looks like we're going to get a good 10 or 12.
Okay.
So we're going to get a nice arc.
Well, we're only already 2 in, so
I
shit
know.
better start happening soon.
And I don't know how long the episodes are. Probably an hour.
An hour.
Yeah, so that's a lot of content.
Yeah.
The only
Because there's no
thing
commercials. It's a solid hour. Yeah.
with Miranda is she's going to be the biggest one to evolve because I really think she's going to come out. I think she's going to...
She's going to have to get divorced.
Yep, I think she's
I
going to
hope they don't try to do...
But with Carrie, the character of Carrie...
Steve is just going to accept it and like let her do her thing. I hope they don't do that.
Well, apparently, I did not. This is a spoiler. Apparently, there's a scene in one of the coming episodes where they both agree that they're roommates, that they don't even have sex anymore. So I think it's going to be something like, we're not happy. What are we doing? And,
Yeah.
you know, it's going to be one of those things.
And then she can come out.
They still love each other,
It won't
but
be
they're
the
friends.
reason. Like, she won't be having an affair or something.
No, I don't think she's going to do that. But with the Carrie character, interestingly, I do still maintain that Big has no money or very little, and she's going to have to sell everything to pay off his debts.
That would be satisfying.
Yeah, it would. I would like that for her.
Because I would.
I
Yeah,
would.
totally.
I would like that for her. And then I think she's going to get back in her apartment. I think she's going to ultimately, whenever the show ends, ultimately she's going to be writing a book about Big and her love affair with him from beginning to end. And I think
I will cry.
the best thing she could do, if they really want to repair this horrible storyline with Samantha, is she needs to reach out to her and ask her to represent her in the UK.
That'd be awesome.
That's
well,
what she
they
should do.
said they.
I don't think it'll happen, but that would be my dream idea.
I was reading an interview with Michael Patrick Starr, and he said that, you know, everybody wanted to know, like, why did you kill off Big? Like, what, how? And he said, we had to do something huge. We had to do something really life-changing to get this ball rolling for people to be interested and wanted to watch it. You know, and it's not the first time something major has happened. He goes, and it had to be big. It had to be life-changing. And that's just what we decided to do.
That's right.
And it was, right? It was jarring for all of us.
And I fucking hated it.
But he said, you know, there will be other things that are going to test Carrie throughout this. He goes, before she finds her journey back to love. So
I don't want her to fall in love again.
She is going to fall in love again.
Fuck,
He said it. He straight up said it.
Okay, so you know what then?
But they haven't introduced that character yet.
Well, then I'm going to tell you this.
Because I have yet to see anybody new male-wise.
This is what's going to happen then. They're going to villainize Big. He's like never had changed. There's going to be like something. Because that's the only way.
The only way that they can ever do that successfully is if he has like another family.
I think he might.
Like a wife and
what
kids.
What if he does?
Oh my God.
What if it's Natasha?
What? Okay, like, no, and if he had kids?
Yes.
Because for Big and Carrie, it was always just us two.
Stephanie! You heard it here first.
Let's hope I'm right.
Okay.
That would be so great.
Oh my God. So maybe he's not broke. Maybe he has a family somewhere.
Maybe he has a family somewhere.
And they're going to get everything.
And then maybe. Like, what if he was married before he married? No!
Oh,
that can't be. That can't be. That's too far. That's too far.
No. But what if he does have children or a child with someone?
Yeah.
Because he wasn't truly... Because he was always big. And maybe
Natasha never told him. Like, maybe she had his kid, and she's like, I didn't want you to know him. He was an asshole. He hurt me. He ruined our lives.
Yeah,
you
but
know?
that wouldn't...
I don't know. We're reaching. Okay. But I think we're on the right path.
I don't... Maybe... Okay,
Time will tell.
Maybe he's not broke. Maybe he has other assets.
Because like you said, if we have to hate him...
We have to hate him.
Then it's going to have to be something really good.
Because she can't... Because frankly...
Him just being broke, people would be like, well, he didn't want to tell her. He was humiliated.
You are correct. But something's going to happen where she's going to have to leave the penthouse and sell everything. We just don't know what that is.
Yeah.
But I think there's some inheritance.
Well, his death is going to have... impact.
A ripple.
Right.
And now we'll find out why. All these people are coming out of the
woodwork. What if he died? What if his will was to leave everything to the secretary and he had nothing to carry?
But why?
I don't know.
We're going to find out. Oh my God, Stephanie.
Let's hope we're right.
You know what?
Because if it's not this juicy, I'm going to lose interest.
Well, here's the thing though. I will always love Big as a character, no matter what. However, it would make me feel so good to have Carrie get fucked in the ass so hard
I know, right?
by him. I would love it.
For the final time.
I'd be like, you thought a Post-it was bad.
Because,
you
have
no idea.
Well, I mean, Big burned her pretty significantly multiple times. Multiple times.
Hard. Oh my God, Stephanie.
So, yeah.
Oh my God. See, this is so fun to hate watch. Don't you love it?
I do love it. I do. And I know Paula said she was never ever going to watch it, but I am curious to know if she watched it.
Maybe.
And if she had an opinion.
I haven't seen any.
And if it changed her what she thought it was going to be.
I've seen nothing that indicates that she has seen it, but who knows?
Well, here's the thing with when they do reboots or stuff like this. Your expectation is so high that you're almost always disappointed no matter what they do. I have to say, I didn't hate this.
I didn't hate it.
When I started watching the episode, I hated the things we've talked about.
I had just criticisms. I had critiques.
I mean, I really hate the way they're doing Miranda.
They're doing her so dirty. All I can say is I think if she doesn't rise from the ashes and become exactly the woman that we want her to be.
I don't understand why she has gray hair. I'm having a fucking issue with that. It's just ridiculous. And she's like, I don't need to dye my hair. I'm like, you always dyed your hair.
Why
you always went to the salon.
I don't have to be a spicy redhead to defend the immigrants. I'm like, yes, you do.
Yeah, because that's who you are, actually, and that's who your character was. So
I'm wondering if, honestly,
start wearing Birkenstocks and fucking plaid then, if that's who you are going to be.
She has, in all forms, has truly lost her identity.
I agree.
And I think that's why she's self-medicating. I think that's why she's unhappy, awkward, she's grasping right now.
Yeah, so we're going to see her metamorphose
when she figures out her sexuality, when she figures out that she's like, holy shit, I am bisexual and I do want to pursue this. It's going to be what?
Flavor Flav nearly crushed to death by falling boulder. That's breaking news, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh my God, is he alive?
He's still alive. He said nearly crushed to death.
Flav. I thought you were going to say a woman.
No, I just found it funny that was breaking news.
It's so funny that you just mentioned him. Totally, we're done. Okay, we're done talking about that.
Yeah. Until next time.
Out of curiosity, because you and I used to talk about this before we had a podcast. Remember New York?
Yes.
From Flavor of Love?
The same wound, Flav.
You used to say that so funnily. I mean, I laughed so hard when you would say it.
Well, because it was back then. It was like you could hear her because she was.
You said it. You just did it so well when you would say. You're like the same wound.
I know.
Flav,
God,
that show is wound. And I'm like, wonder what New York's doing.
That was the most ridiculous reality show ever.
You know what?
It was new.
It was interesting.
I watched it.
So I looked her up to see what she's up to.
And
she has an Instagram. She
does.
Fabulous.
Oh, good. I'm
Kristen
so
Davis
glad.
should look up her person. I mean, she looks fabulous. She's got a makeup line coming out. They're trying to get her another, she's going to be hosting a reality show.
Oh, good.
I don't know where or what, but I think she's doing Big Brother. Which a lot of people like.
I know. I have many friends
I don't know
who
which
watch
one.
that show.
I don't know which one. Whether it's UK, Austria, whatever. I don't know. But she's gonna do one, and I'm like, I am so fucking happy for her. I don't know why. I just am
because they portrayed her in such a way back then. Yes,
she was an amazing villain, though. She was so good at that.
She was very resilient.
She'd be like, "What's up, bitches?
I know.
New York's back." That's like, oh my God. Here we go. Now people are watching.
There are so many, you know what, reality shows are getting to be like podcasts, like anything you want, any flavor that you desire.
It's true.
Whatever, you can, I mean, I have been just scrolling like TikTok and YouTube and even the Instagram reels and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I had come across the most random things. I'm like, I can do it for hours.
That's true. You can go down a rabbit
I
hole.
hate it.
So speaking of reality TV, we did have I had a few listeners reach out to us. They really want us to discuss the Josh Duggar thing. Okay. So I'm going to talk about it briefly because he is disgusting.
He is disgusting.
Josh Duggar was accused of receiving and sending child sexual
he was
assault.
found guilty.
Child sexual assault materials. After all was said and done, just like anybody would expect when the federal government comes to town, they do not fuck around. If you're going to court with the federal marshals, you're going to jail.
Yeah.
And he is. They
have you.
It took them a day and a half to figure it out, which I thought was very polite, considering that they probably could have convicted him immediately. They're like, we don't even need to go.
Yeah.
We don't need to go in. We know he's guilty. He was guilty.
He was.
But the part of it and his sentencing is like in 4 months, he's going to file appeal. He'll lose. It'll be over. He'll go to jail.
But he's not going for that long.
People want him to go. Well, apparently, because he's on the federal level, he could get up to 20 years. He's not going to get 20 years.
He's not going
to. It also apparently depends on the severity of the images. Some of them were really, 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 really bad. So they're thinking 10 to 12 years. And federally, he has to serve like 90%.
Yeah, they don't let you out as like
and they don't let you do get good credit.
I don't think they give you a reduced sentence at all. I think what you get sentenced is what you get sentenced in federal court.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, obviously our limited experiences with things like that, we don't know. But state level is not nearly as severe as federal level. So with that being said, I hope he serves almost all of it.
Yeah.
But the things that have come out of that situation have been really interesting is almost all of his siblings have come out saying we're really glad that he was convicted.
Yeah.
Which is really sad.
Well, how can you not?
His father, Jim Bob, was dismissed as a witness for the defense because he refused to acknowledge that he remembered that Josh molested his sisters.
What I would like to know is, where did this come from? Like, people they're not born child molesters or pedophiles.
Well, and it's funny, even people are saying, well, clearly he was assaulted at some point. He'd experienced some sexual assault and all of that. Yeah, and who did it and why. I don't think it was his father. I think it was somebody in their church. But the reality is that a lot of us have been sexually assaulted or molested, and we don't turn to pedophiles.
I'm not saying it's an excuse,
I agree.
But I do know that
I just wanted to caveat that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. People who do it don't just randomly decide.
No, they don't.
It's almost always a trickle-down effect.
You were environmentally affected, and that's why you're doing this. But Jim Bob was he was almost considered a hostile witness because he's like, I don't remember what he did. I have no idea. It's like, you don't remember that your 4 daughters were molested by your son? Okay. And then what I didn't realize what the time period was, TLC had already agreed to do a reality show with them. And Josh was at that religious camp for getting counseled for touching his siblings. Ugh. So they actually shipped him back for the show. So he didn't even complete any counseling for that. So all I have to say is, dear TLC, as much as I, like many of us, enjoy the garbage that you send our way for a Sunday evening, I'm kind of done with it.
Yeah.
I'm over it because you're not vetting these people. They are fucking criminals, man. They are criminals. They are disgusting human beings. And these children were violated many ways. I absolutely am so disgusted with it. Vet them. Just vet them better. If you're going to give us the garbage, vet it better so we know we're not looking at pedophiles and sexual assault people.
That we find out later,
where we have to feel dirty about it.
Right,
it's like, stop, you know? And and the thing, so that's what's going on. All of the girls, Joy, who was the youngest, she was 5. Ugh. Her husband went to every day, and he was so disgusted
by what he saw.
The faces he was making, he goes, we had to hear it for ourselves because we didn't believe it. Now we believe it.
Well, I'm telling you, if you've ever been through it and you do witness a trial or something like that, it is mortifying. It changes your
body. It changes everything.
It literally changes. Yeah, I mean, you hear about these stories, you read about them, but I mean, unless you've ever experienced it, and they're never going to publicize this kind of thing, right? No. Like, you're never going to see the trial in live reality and see what the witnesses are seeing and seeing the evidence, right? No. They can't. No. But if you've been through it, it is such a different perspective.
Well, you just realize how bad people can be.
And how horrifying it is.
And what does victimizing look like? Oh, well.
Yeah.
If you haven't seen it or heard about it or have it happen to you, you have no idea.
It's
really,
so
really
terrible.
jarring.
It's worse than you can possibly imagine.
So seeing these people who have been completely snowed by the Duggar family or the Duggar parents and now they're seeing the reality of what they married into.
Well,
or what their wives have been going through, and they had no idea.
The wife is currently being charged.
Anna?
I think so. Somebody's being charged for endangering a minor.
Jana Duggar.
So is she his sister?
She's the oldest sister. She still lives at home with her parents, and she is charged with caring for the children because apparently Michelle is incapable of caring for the only kids that she has put out of her body.
Oh.
Jana does it. And so Jana had fallen asleep, and one of the young ones got out and was running around and got out and was almost lost. And so the police were called, and they had to file a
CPS.
It wasn't CPS. It was a citation for level 3 neglect because they got out. And I'm like, does anybody feel terrible for? I mean, everyone's like, Janet, get the fuck out.
Yeah,
get out. What are you doing? Just stop it. This cult has just gone on long enough. Ugh. Every single one of those kids, they're going to get out. They're not doing this anymore. I hope so. It'll be time. I mean, they may be conservative, but that's fine. But they're not doing this cult shit.
I hope not.
No way. They're done. So that's what's going on with the Duggars, and it's disgusting, and I feel for every single one of those victims. I can't with it, and I'm glad that Josh is getting his due.
Yeah.
And Anna, I have very mixed feelings about Anna Duggar. I know that she is essentially a brainwashed person.
Yeah.
But sometimes
I hope her children weren't molested. I know they generally don't molest their own kids, but you never know.
You never know. But at some point, your primal parenting instincts kick in, and you have to do something. And if she doesn't, I don't know how I feel about that.
Well, I do. Don't. I think she's horrible, and that's awful. Yeah. And she's a.
And the thing is she's had ample opportunity. It's not like she has nowhere to go. She's a public figure.
I have known people who have similar. I don't know what she's gonna do. I don't think she's made her decision.
She's got 6 fucking kids. What can she? How much can she do?
But I have known people who were with someone that was like that, and that was accused or convicted of something like that. And the excuses and the things that they say, it is astounding. You literally look at them and you are just like, do you hear yourself? Do you really believe this? And it's almost like there's nothing you can say because you're looking at someone who's so far in denial that there's no reasoning. There's nothing you're ever going to say.
I know.
And it's mind-blowing.
It is mind-blowing.
I'm just like, there's a lot of things I can justify in my life and excuses I can make up for things that have happened or things I've allowed to happen. Yeah. That ain't one of them.
No. It's one of the unforgivables. It really is.
Completely.
Okay, moving on. I don't want to ever talk about the Duggars again. Unless somebody dies, I don't want to talk about it. I think you agree.
It really doesn't interest me.
It doesn't interest me either.
Pedophilia and that type of thing.
You know what else doesn't interest me? Sister wives.
Yeah, I'm kind of over it.
I'm done. I mean, I will check in. I will fast forward through the episodes just to see. But the reality is that it's not a polygamy show. It is a bunch of dysfunctional adults who are clearly stupid.
Yeah, agreed.
And the smart one got out.
Yeah, the smart one with young children got out. So
and that's
I'm
it.
glad.
Yeah, done. So bye Browns. I'm over you. I mean, we might talk about something
really over Cody.
If any of the other wives leave, we will absolutely discuss it. But other than that, I don't want to talk about it.
Well, it's inevitable. I think we can agree on that.
Yeah. So let's do some ugly and awkward moments of the week.
I think I said it.
Well, say it again. Just quickly recap what you did. Was this the guy on the phone?
Well, yeah.
Okay, that's pretty awkward. All right, so you already did your ugly and awkward moment, so we don't have to recap it.
Yeah, only because, if I really, I'll tell you off the show, and I'm sorry, people, that I can't share.
No,
but
it's fine.
I am a public servant.
You are a hero.
No, I'm not. But
Think of frontline workers.
I'm a public servant.
Yes, I know.
And I have to be very sensitive about what I talk about.
So my awkward moment is, we went to this really lovely dinner. It actually wasn't all that great. None of us thought it was amazing.
You mean the food?
Yeah. None of us thought it was fantastic. Like, oh my God, we'll got to go back. We're like, we're never going back there. But
you did it and it was fine.
Yeah. However, we had to do a super early dinner because of the show. So we had reservations at 5:30, which is ungodly early. It's like the afternoon to me. It's like the afternoon. I hate it.
Yeah.
And so we sit down. They have booze, but they give us a table. And I'm like, well, that's fine. I prefer booze, but they were giving couples booths. And I'm like, I get it. I don't want to sit next to Daryl anyway. I hate that. So we're sitting at the table. The service was lovely. The sommelier was wonderful. Like the service was really nice, but it was very dated. Everything was brown, not the food, but the environment. Everything was brown.
Right.
And I'm just like, this is just not what I expected. And I can't believe this is a Michelin star restaurant. This is not.
Oh, Lord.
So anyway, I'm like,
let's go. You guys want to try somewhere else?
I mean, not on, you can't, it's just impossible.
No,
you can't do that anymore. Anyway, so we leave and I said, okay, well, everybody's going back to our room. We're changing into our party clothes. I just wanted to change my shoes. I have these urban hiking boots. They're like a 2-inch heel, but they've got a nice groove bottom and they're black leather and they looked great with my outfit. So I changed into those. So I put them on. I go, I could do anything now because I had heels on before.
Yes.
I'm like, oh my God, I feel like I could run a marathon on these. So I walk out, immediately tripped. And Gerald's like, hey, you can literally do anything in those, can't you? I'm like, literally anything, even trip. Dumb, stupid.
Yeah, you jinxed yourself on that one.
Dumb. That's what I get. That's what happens when you get arrogant.
Well, did you trip inside the room?
No, it was in the hallway.
Oh. Do you still look around to see if there's anybody watching?
Oh, yeah.
I do
Always.
too.
Immediately.
I usually laugh and I'm like, well, of course, I had to do it.
So dumb.
If I don't trip, it doesn't complete my day.
The only other awkward thing that happened, and it happened multiple times, is at dinner, I was wearing these pleather leggings, like I told you, because no one wears leather anymore. And I was wearing pleather leggings, and my napkin kept sliding off my lap because it was
they were slickery.
Yes. And I kept dropping I'm like, oop, drop my napkin again. And Gerald's like, God, you're like a child. I'm like, I know. I'm like, I would shove it.
Slippery pants.
I'm like, I don't know. Should I put it in my neck like a person and just put it in my turtleneck?
Like a bib?
Yeah, should I bib it? I don't know what to do.
My friend came up to me the other day, and when I was wearing that, I have a new soft fuzzy jacket, and she came up to me and she started rubbing me like a freaking pet,
Oh, God.
She's like, oh my God, I love this jacket. No, we're good
cute.
like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. She was like, this is so cute and everything. I go, it's chinchilla. Her face.
She dropped immediately.
She just looked at me like, what? I go, no, it's not chinchilla.
Dummy.
For 2 seconds, I was like, I don't kill for fashion.
Isn't that so funny where you do something like that and you're immediately like, I can't. What's happened to me, because I actually have a leather coat that has rabbit fur cuffs and
vintage.
A collar. It's vintage enough that I don't feel bad about wearing it.
It's not as vintage as I thought it was then. I thought it was
the rabbit's
vintage.
old, but it's not 100 years old. But it's an older rabbit, and so anyway,
is 100 years old vintage?
I have no idea. I don't even know what's vintage
something
anymore.
in the 80s is vintage or 90s.
I just don't. I don't find that. I mean, this is not the most expensive jacket in the world, and unless it is, those things fall apart.
Agreed.
So I don't know how old it is, but anyway, I have it, and I wear it like once a year when it's really, really cold.
Yeah.
And I always feel like I'm gonna get shit for it. So I was wearing, and I'm like, I don't know why. This is just one of those things. I would kill for a mink coat one day. I would love to have one. I've always wanted one. And I said that to somebody. They go, do you know how beautiful those animals are? And I'm like, I do actually, which is why I'd love their fur. I mean, I was being mean, but I mean, I'm like, yes. And they're like, do you know how gorgeous foxes are, like pets?
And
and I'm like, I know. I'm not talking about, I don't want to go electrocute one today, but they're out there.
They kill them?
Yes.
Jamie.
I'm telling you.
That's terrible. Why?
Because then their fur's not disturbed.
Oh my God, that's awful.
That's why fur is outlawed. That we don't need it. If I was an Eskimo, it would be different, but I'm not. So which is why I don't have them. But I am not opposed to buying vintage fur if I really wanted one.
Well, I mean, we've talked about this because they're already dead. And I didn't have anything to do with it.
They're also 50 years old.
And we're not doing it anymore. Yeah, it's not like, like back then it was like if you buy fur, people are going to want to keep doing it.
No, they don't.
Right, but nowadays no one's like, there is no market for it.
And not to mention...
But if you find a vintage one, like you said, that's 50 years old.
Yeah, I would buy...
You're not encouraging the process.
This is how unpopular...
I feel worse about eating tuna, by the way.
I don't eat tuna anymore.
Ahi.
Oh, really? Is it overfished?
It's totally overfished.
And we can't eat it? I don't eat it?
Exactly. But it's like my favorite thing on the planet.
I don't know. You know what? We don't eat a lot of ahi, actually. I like halibut, though. Anyway, so...
Well, in sushi.
This is how unpopular fur is. So Goodwill has a website. You can go shopping on Goodwill.com.
Yeah, you told me about this. We may have been not talking about it on the show.
No, I don't know. There are full-length mink fur coats on Goodwill.
And they're like cheap too, right?
$50.
Unbelievable.
And I'm like, there was a time when these things were $5,000.
I told you that when we talked about this before that you should buy one and wear it as a robe. Oh. No one will see you. You can wear it in the comfort of your own home.
Or I can just go crazy and wear it to check the mail.
Or something like that. Yeah.
Slippers in my mink fur.
It's too bad you don't have school-age children because that'd be a good place to do that as well.
I've heard, oh God, yeah. I have heard of women saying, my grandmother had a fur coat and I'm inheriting it and I will not feel bad about it. And I'm like, you shouldn't feel bad about it.
No,
it is.
If it's a
there.
family heirloom. I mean, you know what? Here's the thing: we have evolved. We don't do these things anymore.
We don't.
We've learned our lessons, and
what are we gonna
are
do?
humane now.
We're gonna just like what?
But we can't. Yeah. So I mean, who are we punishing by these things that have already existed in life?
No one. And then to me, and reality is if you do like the look of fur, faux fur is beautiful. There's a lot of amazing
the faux
furs.
fur I have today, you would never know.
No,
it is so
gorgeous.
soft. Yeah.
And I look at it and I go, oh,
and it was $50.
Yeah, and it's cheaper. And
Much
then,
cheaper.
of course, here's what I hate about our society.
And I'm allergic to real fur.
Yeah, this is what I hate about society.
Angora makes me sneeze.
I look bad in Angora.
I don't think anybody looks good in Angora unless you're like a size 2.
Exactly. If you're wafy thin and you have not an ounce of
get
fat
rid
on you,
it.
if you have not one,
you can get rid of it. You can pull it off.
No ripple anywhere, fine, go for it.
And
but
you have
other
like
than
little
that,
tiny bumps for boobs that you can barely even tell they're on there. Yeah.
They're like, oh, faux fur. They're like, yes, except for it's plastic and it creates litter and it creates, blah, blah, blah.
Everything does.
And then they say, and you expect the society to determine whether or not it's real or not. You shouldn't wear any of it.
Shut the freak up!
It's symbolic. And I'm
oh my God. Here we go.
I'm like,
no.
I'm not wearing
Can you take the joy out of literally everything?
Yes. Can you imagine being...
Oh my God.
First of all, I would
Pretty soon we're not going to be able to walk on the snow because you know what? That snow is valuable and every snow matters. We're getting it dirty.
I couldn't be friends with those people.
Oh, but people like that exist.
They do. Although I think they mainly exist online. I don't think they're real. I don't think they act like that in
they're
public.
Real too, which is why it really pisses me off. I'm like, you fucking liar.
I know.
While you're drinking your 6,000th Diet Coke today.
Did I ever tell you about the time that
Tell me not to buy a vintage fur.
I got into a fight online with somebody.
Oh, God.
He's like, I am vegan. If you come into my home, you will not wear animal products. Like, he was vigilant. I mean, he was like a warrior for the people.
I have some kind of admiration for people who are so dedicated in that manner.
Was like, la 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 la. And
it takes a lot.
Well, it's very aggressive, especially for a male.
No, I agree.
And so,
I mean, you really have to have you have to educate yourself. I'm trying to take dairy out of my diet right now.
I've taken dairy out of my diet.
Really?
Yes.
Well, you're gonna have to give me some tips because I'm struggling. There's a few things that
it's
I really
just like
love.
anything. You just have to slow yourself.
Well, I mean, you
have to slowly remove it.
I learned a valuable lesson. I love cream sauce. I just love it so bad, but it's fattening and it's very difficult to digest.
Yes.
So I'm like, you know what? You have to find another way. And these days there are so many products out there that are for non-dairy.
Oh God, I know all the nut milks.
Yes.
The oat milks.
That's how it
Coconut
started.
milk, yeah.
Jeff said he wanted to try non-dairy milk. He was curious about it. He must have seen it on something.
Almond milk's the easiest.
He knows not of non-dairy milk. So I have no idea where he came up with like
Somebody
wanting to try it. Something. So I bought oat milk because I had not tried oat milk. I tried everything else.
Oat milk's actually not bad.
I loved it. Yeah. So now that's what I'm using exclusively.
Great.
Jeff didn't like it at all.
Oh, well, there's many nut milks he can try.
I'm sure. So, but he didn't like it. But I mean, this kid drinks,
I just like saying nut
100%. He drinks 100%, Clover organic lactose-free milk. It's like $8 a half gallon.
Yeah, but
so for him, oat milk or any
probably tastes weird.
It does taste weird.
Yeah.
But anyway, I digress. So I love and I hate red sauce. I hate marinara. I just don't like it. Yeah, I think I'm slightly allergic to it, and that's probably why I don't like it.
The shade vegetables.
Yeah, and so Jerry will eat, and Jeff for that matter, will eat nothing but spaghetti with like marinara sauce, with a meat sauce, and I hate it. I loathe it.
I hate spaghetti more than anything in the world. And
God.
I've told this story many times.
Really?
As to why I hate it.
Is it because of Wendy?
No.
Oh, that's why I hate it. Dad made me eat it till I threw up.
It's interesting that you say that. Somebody who listens to the show went to the files and listened to the spaghetti story. And because it was years and years ago. I have not talked about the spaghetti story in many, many millennia, but since this is the last show of the year and it's an extended version, I'm going to say it.
You're due.
Our mother, when she was pregnant with me, ate spaghetti like obsessively. She couldn't get enough of it.
It was her craving.
And would proceed to then vomit it all up. Ew. And she did this cycle for months when she was pregnant with me.
No wonder.
I'm trying really hard because every time I do this, I start getting nauseous.
Gagging. Oh God.
Because it's so triggering. So when
know.
I was at the age, I think I was 7 or 8 years old. This is how loving our mom is.
She made spaghetti?
She made spaghetti all the time because we were poor. We just had it, right? Yeah. And it was fine. I didn't think anything of it. But because of her aversion to spaghetti now, she no longer ate it, but she would make it. She would let it sit in the refrigerator until it would mold.
Oh my God, I remember.
And she made me be the person to get rid of it.
Why?
Because I was the one that made her throw up on spaghetti when she was pregnant with me.
She was punishing you for her. Okay.
So she would be like, Jamie, there's spaghetti in the fridge. You need to throw it away.
And it was always in like a glass.
It was in the glass dishes, so I couldn't even just throw it away. And I go, well, what do I do? And she's like, you need to flush it down the toilet.
Why did she make? Oh God.
I can't tell you how many times that I flushed moldy spaghetti down the toilet as a child.
Oh, Jamie.
I had to do it all the time. And I'm like, why?
It's like our own torture.
Why? And she's like, you have to. Finally,
Was her excuse is that she couldn't do it because she would throw up?
Yes. And she said, you have to do it because you're the reason why I can't eat it anyway. So you're going to do it.
You fucking bitch.
So I was 13 and she's like, Jamie,
unbelievable.
Moldy spaghetti. And I go,
I'd be like, every time you do this, that dish is going in the trash.
And I told her,
or you can do it your damn self.
I took it out and I said, I'm throwing this away and I'm never doing it again. And I threw it away and it was some old ass vintage dish. I go, if you want it so bad, go fucking get it. I'm not doing it. I'm done with this nonsense. I don't even know. It never even made sense to me. I go, and why am I flushing it down the toilet like a savage?
Why couldn't it go down the freaking sink in the garbage disposal?
Why couldn't it go in the garbage?
Or that.
And why did I listen? Why did I do it?
Because we did everything our parents told us to do.
God, it was the worst. So
That's
anyway,
horrible. It's interesting that we both hate it and for different reasons. But
Daryl loves spaghetti, and I'm like, well, then marry someone else because you're never getting it from me
ever. Well, I make it, but I do not eat it.
I don't eat it either,
and I only do it because it's sometimes when I'm exhausted and I've worked all day. It's literally so easy to make.
I will literally buy fettuccine or angel hair. I will not buy spaghetti.
Well, we don't. Yeah, they don't like. It's not the noodles. It's the sauce.
You don't like the red sauce.
It's the red sauce.
Yeah, I don't mind red sauce.
Yeah,
but I put a shit ton of stuff in it.
I don't like it. Yeah, and that's the other thing in my house. You're not allowed to have anything but Italian seasoning, salt and pepper, and ground beef.
Yes, because
there is no mushrooms. There is no onions. Yeah, none of that. So it's just abhorrent. So I generally will eat. I'll eat the same noodles, but I'll make Alfredo sauce on the side. That's my compromise, so that I can still eat pasta without having to make a whole nother meal, but I do have my own sauce. Well, every single time I do it, I suffer for 12 to 16 hours.
Oh.
I suffer. And the last time that happened, I'm like, I'm never doing this to my body again. Why do I do it? It tastes so good. But immediately, within an hour or two, I am dying. I am writhing. I am rolling around on the floor or the bed in agony. And I'm like, I've got to cut dairy out of my diet. So I've started down this path of trying to find, that's how it started. I tried to start finding non-dairy fettuccine Alfredo sauce.
Yummy.
Not so yummy.
Oh, it's gross.
So I'm really interested to know if anybody has found a line or a product of non-dairy items that mimic things we love but aren't terrible. They don't even have to be identical. Like, it doesn't have to be exactly like it because I know it's not gonna be.
Sometimes it's just paying the money for it.
I paid $9 for El Fettuccine for like 9 ounces of.
Maybe Whole Foods has stuff.
It was almond based, I believe.
Oh.
So, and I thought
I've
it
done
good.
cashew nut.
No, it was cashew. That's what it was.
That's the one. I'm not a fan.
Cashew.
Okay, let's just do really quick. This is our final show of the year. Do you have any resolutions for your new year coming up? Do you have any resolutions?
I do. I hadn't thought about it, but I since we've been talking, I would like to have more peace in my life.
Oh.
Self-peace. It's not peace that no one's causing me. Yes, inner peace. No one's causing me to not be peaceful. Like, no one's doing anything. There's no toxic people in my life that I can think of right now.
Yes.
But I find myself just being worked up or angry or overly emotional or overly sensitive or overly reactive. Mm-hmm. You know, I've always been that way.
Yeah, you have.
Right?
Yeah, you're just a sensitive person.
I am.
And you also have no problem just telling people.
I've been told. Yeah, that
and
I'm
there's
very
nothing wrong
direct.
with that. Although Mom says, she says, you could put a little sugar on anything you say, JB.
Thank you. And I need to learn that lesson.
I know.
Yes, because it's like, okay, fine. So you said your piece. Well, great. Now what?
Now what do we do with
now
all of
you're all
this?
alone because everyone hates you and thinks you're a bitch. I'm like, oh, you're right. Yeah. So yeah, I would really like to have that in my life and figure out a way to do that without compromising my values or my personality.
Oh yeah, there's ways to do it. You can figure it out.
I will figure it
That's
out.
your goal.
And my second biggest priority is I desperately want to lose weight.
Oh.
That I just want it for no one else.
Just
no
for
one's ever
you.
called me fat.
You're
no one's
not.
ever said anything. You
But
know.
I understand.
But I want to lose weight for me. I am
Good
so
for you.
tired of looking at my globulous body naked. I can't even do it anymore. I now open the medicine chest so that the mirror is not open when I
don't
get
have
out
to
of the
see.
shower. So I don't even have a silhouette walking by. I can't. And I'm like, you know what? This is dumb. Just lose weight, you fat slob. I'm like, just do it. What are you doing? Stop eating cheeseburgers for breakfast every single day.
Oh my God, that sounds amazing.
I can't. I'm addicted to it.
You can't do it.
It is literally 7:30 in the morning, and I will be eating a Whopper with cheese. I love it. And then I'll eat nothing else, and that's my justification. I'm like, that is the only thing you ate for this entire day. You ate nothing else. You drank water all day long. So you're okay for those 1,500 calories. That was your daily.
Wow.
But no, who am I fooling?
I
It's
miss fast
dumb.
food. I miss fast food so much.
I mean, I won't even. It doesn't even have to be fast food. I mean,
Just food.
If people would like come up with the times and open your establishments and serve like lunch type foods before noon,
It would be nice.
fine.
Yeah, I never understood that.
Go to a big city and they all do it.
They're all
Why-
shut down.
Yeah.
I never. I'm with you. My resolutions. Well, my number one is always to lose weight. It's been my resolution since I was 12, so that will continue. That has not changed.
Well, at least you're active about trying to do it.
Always.
Or at least maintaining. Like, I don't even do that. I'm getting fatter.
I really wish producer Deb was in here because I know he's got some resolutions.
Does he?
Oh my God. He's never been this heavy in his life.
Oh, physical okay.
Well, for him.
I don't look at
That would be his. But mine is to always do that. My second one is my eyes. I need to get my
here we
eyelids
go.
done so badly. My
I'm
eyes.
thinking about inner peace.
I look like sad.
Paula, Jamie's like, my eyes. My eyes.
Hey, you know what?
I'm like, what about world hunger? And
God. I asked Daryl, I said, do you think I should be a do-gooder? Should I like go volunteer somewhere? And he looked at me with a weird face. He's like, you? And I'm like, well, what is that supposed to mean?
I've done it before. I did it once.
He's like,
it did feel good.
He's like, well, what do you think you would do? And I'm like, okay, never mind.
Put on a knit hat and an apron and go down to Loaves and Fishes and serve soup on Saturdays.
Tell people that they're moving too slow? Like,
God,
what are you
you
going to
couldn't-
do? Oh my God,
Be
can
like,
you imagine?
Whatever you're serving, it smells like throw up.
The line begins here. Let's go.
The soup Nazi.
Move.
Yeah.
We have people to feed.
Look, if you're in a wheelchair or have a cane, to the right.
Can you imagine? It'd be like, Jamie, we really appreciate your dedication to our organization, but this might not be the place for you.
You'll be like, we don't want you to come back here ever.
Like, we have plenty of volunteers, and you are not the one. We need people to be practically crying when they see our people. You are not it. You are not it.
I'm telling you, it is astounding that I have maintained the job I have for as many years as I have. It really, truly is.
It's amazing when you need money and you want to go do things,
right.
what you will do.
I do give myself credit that for being like a great actress, and when it comes to that,
Oh, for sure.
I can totally put that face on.
And then the other goal I have is this will be our last podcast in this bedroom.
Nuh-uh.
Yes.
Oh my God.
We have the setup. We just need to purchase the rest of the equipment.
Well, we'll have to publish a photo so that everybody
Yeah.
knows what we're talking about. We're obviously not going to take a picture of your room, but
No.
we have been doing the show in Jamie's master suite for years.
Yeah, well, because we were doing it remote for so long that we didn't really need a studio.
That's true. You and Paula did it remote.
But I'm just so glad that you can come over because it makes it so much better.
I like it better.
So
I've always been a fan of in person.
Me too. And so we are going to have a legitimate studio with legitimate
Oh my God.
equipment
I'm
and
so
all the
excited.
things. And so the New Year's resolution is that we will do our first show for 2022 in the studio.
Well, that's no pressure because that's like soon.
I know. So
It's literally Christmas.
or at least before the end of the month.
Here we go. Let's be realistic.
It just depends. You know what?
I would be thrilled anytime. I don't
But
care.
we've been working. I mean, because I'm designing it. Because I'm like, no, if it was up to Daryl, it would be something really bizarre. And I'm like, no. I don't want. I want it to be girly. I want it to be.
We'd have
us.
mallard ducks and.
No, he just would be
I'm
like
playing.
I don't know.
I'm doing Charlotte.
Yes, I know.
And Trey.
Did you see what this room looked like before I got to it?
No more mallard ducks will come into this apartment.
And the plaid!
What's with the plaid?
Yeah, exactly. So anyway, all right. Well, everybody enjoy your end of year celebrations,
happy
whatever you're
holidays.
doing.
Yes, yes.
And stay safe and
don't feel like you have to like hang out with your relatives if you hate them.
Yeah, just go.
I've never been a happier person since I gave that up. And when I say relatives, I'm not talking about you.
I know what you're talking about. I'm talking about in general terms.
I'm just saying, why be around people for tradition or, I mean, unless you enjoy it and you love it and it's like the thing that you love and look forward to, which I know a lot of people who do.
Of course. They actually love their family.
Right? But I don't know why these people do these things that are toxic and terrible and that they dread. And it's like, why? You deserve joy. And peace.
Yes, I agree. All right, everyone. Enjoy the rest of your 2021. 22 can't get any worse. So here's hoping, right?
You shouldn't have said that. Okay, yeah.
Thank you, Hugs. Hugs, everybody.
Don't forget to get your Uglee mug.
Oh my God, you have your Uglee mug downstairs.
Yay.